Welcome back, everybody. It is now 2025, and I hope everybody had a great holiday. Over the holidays, it's been definitely busy over here, working on the yard. Finally, have power and tracks started. Make a little bit of progress over the holidays. It was definitely a great holiday here, kind of getting things tuned up, ready to get going, and a couple changes too along the way. So the yard's been the main focus over the holidays. Definitely a ton of stuff to keep working on. But here's what we did. This all here is about to actually get ripped out. I'm thinking about putting in a three-way switch just because of where the lead is going to go. Once you get in the electrical company over here, they have two tracks, which is great. But when you come off where the car float is going to go, which will be down where those three green tape lines are, you're going to need a lead to come off of where the track will be right here. So once it follows up into this switch and back, we don't want it to really interfere with the electrical company. So I'm thinking about maybe running another line up further past, but that's at another later date. For now, over the holidays, we got some tracks in, which was a lot of work. All, again, hand laid. If you're new to the channel, everything's been hand laid, one rail, one tie, one spike at a time. So it's been an ongoing learning curve, to say the least. You might see this particular track. That one is going to be readjusted. It needs to get shifted over. I've got a line here, right in here, that we're going to shift over the ties, shift this over. It's a little too sharp for the CN040 right here that I brought up and running. It seems to push it off the track. It's not a smooth enough ease into the next track line. So the idea is trains will come in, they'll follow down here past the station, and then at the back, a locomotive will be able to do a runaround, go through here, switch over, which is all smooth. This works great. And then follow back out and then leave it to the yard to take care of the trains that they brought in. They can then set a train out, like I've got one right here, ready to go. And then, of course, the other tracks on the back, which have yet to be, spiked and railed and turnouts made and all that kind of stuff. Something I learned over the holidays was the lack of space sometimes can be a constraint. I can either keep it to one box car. This will be a team track area over here. Just a local pickup. The road will be over on this backside here. Will come in. There's enough space back here once we move things back. I had these two boxcars here, and the locomotive could squeeze by, but it'd be pretty tight. So I thought, I'll bump it back a bit, thinking initially I'd bump it to about there. Well, if I happen to bring in something a little longer in the yard, like a gondola, as an example, well, now I don't have enough space if I was to have two of these in here, as we would get kind of jammed up if I had to make my way by. So less troubles to worry about. I got time right now. I've got the space. I got the availability. Why not make it a little bit longer, as one of my friends suggested? So now I believe the gondola, I will double check to make sure that is my longest car I have. I'm running in the mid 50s, so there's not anything too long, I think, currently on the layout that is longer than, I believe, a 50 footer. So the gondola, two of those back to back, should fit on the team track just fine. A little caboose track at the back, more running around over here. The other big change too, once my friend was over, we got talking, was the turntable. Taking a look at the turntable, where am I going to put this? Well, initially I planned it to go where the roundhouse is. The problem being with that is this particular turnout. In order to get, so the idea is trains will come in, they'll go down the yard, they'll do their set-offs, all that stuff, and then come out, and then they'll have to go into the other part of the yard to go into the track where they get their coal, sand, and go around the backside of the roundhouse now, and then get into the turntable yard, which will be nice. Actually, once this is up and running, I'm going to be able to house 3 within the turntable, and I currently have 5 here, but I can also extend a track or 2 if I really need to come off the back here as well. So there's opportunities here to have a couple sitting in the yard. And then when they go out, now we're going to come into this turn here, this turnout, fuel up. The steams will have to fuel up with water, come in there, get their water, and then head down to collect whatever order they're going to be currently on. This is a point-to-point layout. It is a operational layout. There is a ton of traffic to run around. Even adding just these 3 tracks to go from point, which is way in the back here, you can follow it along, goes behind the curtain, and then all the way through and around, and then it kind of loops behind me, and then we land into here. Adding these 3 tracks added probably about 45 minutes worth of traffic running the layout, which was a much needed addition, where beforehand, sorry for the quick turn, we would just end right there. So once you end right there, it's now what? So to be able to come at least into the yard, have another train already made up, ready to go, do your switches, whatever you have to do, you set off, go pick up, hit the team track, and then bail out again to go around to the back side and around. We're down here for at least a good hour to an hour and a half. The overall scope of this layout, by the time it's done, we'll have 1 person operating the yard and then 2 others operating in and around the layout, which should, I'm hoping, accumulate to about 2.5 to 3 hours worth of traffic when we're all done. So lots still to do. Definitely, well, you know how it goes. It never ends here when you're working on the layout. A couple buildings still to get to. I've got one that needs to go here. That's going to be a produce facility there. So there's a couple ideas and things for cars to come in and what we can do for that for traffic. That used to be a gas station right here. This will be a full coal facility now, as we'll get back into here and then up top to the bridge. And then further back we get into, this will be a pickling company, maintenance shed, freight shed over here, and then in the back we have the town and a lumber yard. So lots of traffic to run around, lots to do. But the biggest thing over the holidays for me and my son were to get down here, operate within the yard, and keep plugging away. My 3-year-old comes down here and actually gives me a hand. We can call it that. But it is just nice to have him down here. We hang out, have a good time. As I said before, we're going to rip up this little quick bend here as it's a little too tight for the steams. The diesel has no problem. It's able to pivot through. But for the steam engines, I've got another one that's pretty long as well that I think might probably run into some problems. So next part, though, is once I get that sorted, onto this switch, and we're going to hopefully get down into some more traffic here as well. And then we can get back into an iron factory. Not really sure what we're going to do with this one yet. We'll figure that one out. And then we've got a brewing company and a manufacturing company in the back. And then on the actual turntable and all that stuff over here, which will be probably the later half of 2025, if I'm guessing. It's a lot of work to do all this stuff when you're making sure it all works and then something kind of goes wrong. But either way, it's been a ton of fun. Can't wait to get it going. And then eventually, probably in 2026. Hard to think about that already, but we'll have the car float going. That's the idea. That's the plan. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.